Hey guys, Ricardo here. I'm very proud to introduce you guys my brand new series called The Stars in the Making. And our very first episode is gonna be with a very special friend who I'm very proud, and I know the struggle that he went through and the man who he is today. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna introduce my good friend and brother again, Michael Bowles. So,
how are we doing, Ricardo?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic and peachy as always.
Awesome. Mike, I'm very proud of you. You know, since I met you, so you overcame a lot. So you are the one. You are the one who inspired me starting these episodes, actually, and obviously, and you know, so. I know that you wanna tell us your story a little bit. First of all, can you introduce yourself? Like where you from? Obviously I know, but you know.
Obviously for you, but for the people who are watching, I am Michael Bowles. I am from a small town in Framingham, Massachusetts, which is, right outside of Boston. Small, humble town, not many people, but there's a lot of voices.
Awesome. Regarding your high school, can you tell me about the high school thing, like a middle school and stuff, like the story that you told me, like your struggles in school because you were overweight, obviously,
yes.
When you were there. Can you tell us, like, what was the point that you really got fed up and, you wanted to change?
So, as you may know, but they will not know,
yeah,
it all started in the 6th grade, leading all the way up to senior year of high school, where I was bullied constantly for being the overweight, chubby kid,
right,
and being short, stout, and everything about. I couldn't really do anything about it, and therefore,
right,
I was just being picked on constantly. My self-esteem it wasn't even at the floor, it was below the floor. It was at like -5
right,
on the scale.
Right.
So for me, I just got to a point one day where I was like, I can't take this anymore. I looked in the mirror, I saw myself, and I was just disgusted. I couldn't bear to look at myself anymore. I wanted to fight mirrors when I was walking around my house. I never looked at myself in the mirror, always wore baggy clothes. Super self-conscious kid.
Right. How long is that lasted?
That lasted for me.
Yeah.
I want to say, honestly, from the 6th grade up until I was, 19 years old.
So 19 years old.
So from 7 years.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
7 years, I would say.
Yeah, that's a lot. I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of you. And also, I wanted to say, for a kid who is out there or somebody who is watching you right now,
yeah,
because obviously you started as an overweight kid, like a chubby kid, I would say, and to get to the point where you are now a fitness star. You are,
thank you.
You are an athlete, and you are in a pretty good shape. You train every day. You are very hard worker. I mean, I would say as The Rock said,
hardest workers in the room.
The hardest worker in the room. That's it. Yeah. So, what is the advice that you want to give to any other kid out there? Not just in America, of course, like outside of America. I mean, in the world, there's many kids that they suffer, like, bullying, and they're going through a lot. Maybe they don't have like a father figure, or I would say a mother or whatever. And what is your advice that you want to give to that kid who is going through the same thing?
So my advice to them, which I would tell you before, but I'll tell them is,
you're
ultimately going to be your first and best friend in this life, and things are going to get bad before they get better.
Right.
So you need to really dig deep and realize, okay, in order for anyone else to want to be around me or like me, you have to like and love yourself first. So it's all mental first. Everything else is second. So you need to dig deep and say, okay, this is what I want, this is what I need,
right.
This is what I'm going to do to become better. And in doing so, you have this self-belief in oneself, because if you don't have it in here,
right,
then how is anyone else going to buy into it and believe it? So for me, I was always my biggest fan, my #1 supporter. I always showed up. I was dedicated, disciplined. I showed up every day.
Right.
And that's just the secret recipe. It's the cookie cutter formula, but it works. Is you need to be dedicated, disciplined, show up every day, never give up. And when you do that, it's these little things that add up to the big victory.
Right. So obviously you have told me about really like good. Obviously we're gonna get there. How you started working out with me and all that stuff.
Yes.
But you started with Matt. You have a good friend.
Yes.
And then can you talk a little bit about him?
Okay. So as you know, but they don't know yet.
Right.
I had a good friend of mine, I've known for many years. His name is Matt Bullied. And we used to play basketball together every single day. And he introduced me to the weight room for the first time.
Yeah.
And he was in there for a year before I was. And he was really like in shape. And he just started, but he wasn't the biggest guy, but he wasn't no scrub either. And he really wanted me to start working out. He said, this is going to change your life. For basketball, mentally, it's going to change the game.
Right.
So he brought me in there one day because physically speaking, I was not so fit at the time,
Right.
At that time, I beat the obesity. I beat, what I was before, but I was very skinny, frail, weak, and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do one push-up.
Yeah, exactly. So I remember that like the very first time like I started training with you, like I started giving you like my trainings, and you were very like your confidence were really low, and you couldn't even like do squats or any push-ups. You remember when we did the push-ups?
The diamond push-ups.
Yeah, the diamond push-ups, and you couldn't even like.
You said give me 5, I gave you 1.
Exactly.
I was like a college athlete, one and done.
Yeah, and also your confidence was really all the way down, like was really low, and it's like we've been training all this time, like all these years, and I can see like your confidence is always like is going up and up. And where you are now, I told you like that very first day that when we did like the squat.
Yes.
Remember?
Yeah.
When we did the squat, and I did 10, and it was like, man, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna make it. And I told you once, like, you just have to be confident with yourself. Like we're gonna step by step. You will definitely do more than I'm doing right now. And you started doing squats way more than me, and that's something that fired me up. I'm very, very proud of you for that. And like how you did that, like how you get there.
So for me, it wasn't to outdo anyone or to be better than anyone per se. It was I gotta beat myself. I gotta be the best I can be every single day.
I don't want to cut you off. Actually, can you explain a little bit? Like, it was very, very.
Yeah, the day we met and the day you started training me.
Right.
I knew it was you instantly changed me from a kid that was like down in the dumps, had no vision, no drive, nothing, to a guy with a ultimate belief in himself, ultimate gratitude for you, for Matt, everyone who's ever helped me in this life, and it just unlocked that inner beast mode in me. And I just had this drive and this will that like nothing can stop me, like nobody. Only me and the man upstairs. And to me, that just, after we trained for all those times and those years, it just really stuck with me and just made me even more hungry for more.
I love that. And do you recommend like any exercise? Do you have any favorite exercise like you usually do? I mean, I know exactly what we started doing.
Yeah.
And since like you started like working out alone, what is your favorite like exercise?
So for me personally, this can come as a shock to you,
Yeah.
as well as other people as well, is I'm a big advocate for the hip thrust. Because a lot of people tend to shy away from it. They're like, oh, that's, it's for glutes and all that. But for me, I'm a student of the game. I constantly want to learn and do more things. And I figured out that hip thrust is not just good for athletics, but I was very big into squats. When we first started, that was your staple. I'm like, Ricardo's the squat man.
Yeah.
And I got to get to that level so we can be on the same page. So when I started doing hip thrust and I started doing my research, the weight just kept going up and up and up and up and up. And I just kept getting more motivated. And my squat went up, my deadlift went up, all that stuff went up because it's all correlated one another to blow up.
Awesome. And also like I wanted to ask you like what is the main, like, what do you wanna, where you wanna aim at? Like, what is your aim? What is your goals, like, right now about life? And also, like, what is your advice to, like, those kids that they have no goals at all? They stay home, maybe just like eating nachos, like playing video games all day, you know, because there is many kids out there, like they are not aware about like exercising, you know,
totally,
going to the gym and stuff like that, you know, because like for me, I would say I work out, like I train many kids, you know, way before you, and those kids actually, this is something that it's always like it got me, like, you know, about you, like you specifically, like it motivated me and inspired me, like starting something. Mike was that kid. I train with many kids, and it's like those kids, you train with them like once or twice, and then when the things start getting harder, you know how I train, like I always start like slowly and then I start going up. But the kids, when they see like a little, like something like is going hard or is getting a little tough, you don't hear from them again. Exactly. And you were the one that always, you never gave up. You never gave up. And you were calling me like even 5 a.m. in the morning, saying, Ricardo, are we going to train? Are we going to go do legs? And I was like, damn, what's really going on? And that was like, I actually thought that you're going to give up. You're going to give up straight up. I knew it, but you didn't give up. That was when that just dawned on me. I was like, what is really going on with him? Like, what is going on with this kid? Because I met you like way back, like 5 years, 6 years ago, I'm guessing, or more than that. Yeah, and I asked you, I said, Mike, what's really going on? Why you want to change so much? Like your physique, do you have a reason behind this? And then you told me about, you know, how you grew up and all that stuff. That's the main reason. You have a very powerful story. That's the main reason I started these episodes, like stars in the making, and you were really a star. And I believe in you so much that you will definitely do great, because I know like your mentality, where you are, you know, you've grown now, and you are that kid that has that mentality that I want to get there, I want to do this. And that's really what I love about you. And do you have any other advice, like for anyone out there, like again, kids that they're just out there, like they have no goals, maybe they don't have a father figure or stuff like that. It's like, what you would say to those kids? Because nowadays actually you can use the internet and stuff like that. You can have someone, you know, even though you don't know him physically, but you can you have those people in your life.
You can reach out to them,
Right. Do you have those people in your life?
So for me, what I would say to any kid or even adult out there that is struggling, doesn't know necessarily what they want in life, living day by day, you know, in their home depressed. I get that. I was that guy for a long time, and up until a few years ago, that was me, day in and day out. But what I would tell them is, find your purpose. Forget about the monetary value of what it is, or what you can gain from it. What do you love doing? And what do you get up in the morning and they're like, oh, I want to do this today because I love doing it. And when you figure out what you love doing, everything else becomes easy. Or easier, I should say. You know, everyone has to work a bad job, you know. Everyone has to work places they don't want to work.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing. If you wake up with a mindset of, I'm working on my purpose today and I love what I'm doing, the job is like, okay, I got my work done. Now it's time, let's roll. Let's work on the purpose. Because the money you use from that, here's the real thing. If you do it smart, you can work a job that you absolutely don't like, use the money from that to funnel your purpose, and then once your purpose starts getting going, then you don't have to work that job anymore.
I love that. Like you brought up a very good point. So I see many people, like, you know, they see in the now. Like they literally don't they don't have long goals, like long-term goals. They see in the now, okay, right now I'm doing like a shitty jobs, I'm working in whatever they do. I don't want to mention jobs here. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna stay here forever. they don't work towards something greater, like something better for their future. So, and I see you always you have this long-term thing. You always tell me, like, Ricardo, I want to get better.
It's the
like,
bigger picture.
I want to get better. And I look at you, that's the main reason I always tell you, like, damn, this kid is he's very smart. He know what he's doing. And you told me one time, you said, I may be here now, I may be here right now, but my goal, this is not where I'm gonna end up.
Exactly. It doesn't matter where you
always
start.
have a long term. And many people, they don't have that. You know, they don't think like that. So can you, like, tell me.
I'll further expand off what
you.
you said to them.
Right.
It's not where you start, and it's not where you are right now.
Right.
It's not even where you finish. It's the person you become along the way, because that's ultimately going to dictate where you go in life or if you remain stagnant. And let me touch on something right now. Even with jobs, regardless of what you do, regardless if you're the garbage man or you're the president of the United States, a job is a job by its definition. But here's the thing. If you use it to your advantage, it will work out for your betterment. If you work it every single day and are like, oh no, I hate it, I can't do this anymore, without a plan, then you're done. But if you know what you want, use it to your advantage, because like I said earlier, you won't have to do that forever. This is a temporary spot. And by temporary, I'm not saying a day, 2 days, a week, a month.
Right, exactly.
It could be 6 months, it could be 2 years, it could be 5 years, maybe even 10, which would be,
maybe 20.
But here's the thing. Bad times don't last forever, and tough times don't last forever.
Sure.
But tough people last forever. So if you can develop that mentality, even if you're like a dishwasher,
Right.
you can, take what you learned there and bring it somewhere else.
Use it somewhere else, exactly.
But you gotta have that end goal and state. You gotta have that 90-day end state.
Yeah.
And when you have that, not even just specifically 90 days, but when you have that end state, it changes the game, your perception, because your perception controls everything in your life.
No doubt.
How you view things is how it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
If you think everything's crap, then everything's crap. But if you think, okay, I have a job that can pay for the food on my table, I have a house to live in, I have a shower, there's people out there that don't have these things.
Exactly. Like, many people don't have this perspective. They don't look, they don't know really where they're trying to go. They don't have that kind of, like, the mindset of knowing that I'm doing this right now and I'm gonna get to a better place now. And also, like, what I wanted to bring it up, actually, you already said that. There's those people that they only, if they're doing, let's say, quote unquote, shitty job, right?
Yeah.
And they keep going to that very job. They don't do something on the side. They don't have that lens, like that vision, that laser vision. Like, okay, if I'm doing something like right now that I don't like, obviously you have to have that kind of, like, on the side, you have to do something that you really love, in order for you to get there. Because if you just have hopes and you don't get up, it's not gonna happen. It's the same thing, like the lion is coming to eat you, and you're right there praying, like, okay, God, let this lion go. You gotta run. You have to do something, right? So, do you wanna add something else?
Of course I do. So, like I said, if you have dreams and goals and ambitions, you need to address them, and you need to take that first step, because a dream without action is just a fairy tale.
True.
And I don't live in imagination land. This isn't Neverland with Peter Pan. I live in the real world.
Yep.
This is the real world right here.
Yep.
And honestly speaking, for a long time I put that to the side. I didn't believe in myself. I was like, no, this will never happen. It can't be me. It won't be me. And then I started having this why not me mindset, and boom, things are starting to happen. I'm starting to get things done. I'm starting to think a different way. And in doing so, things are coming to fruition. And that's why you need to have a purpose. It's purpose over everything.
Awesome. Love that. That's well said. Well said. And
yeah,
you look up to somebody out there?
Yeah, so this person's no longer with us, rest in peace, but Greg Plitt, listening to him through you showed him to me that one day, many years ago, and I've been listening to him for a long time recently, and it's really changed my perception of life, because he's the one who instilled that mindset first in me, because if you have this, the rest will follow. And if you don't have this, none of this will come into to play.
Very
So Greg Plitt is my number one go-to guy, other than you and Matt.
Yeah,
You know,
love that.
so that is, he's
I'm
not with
proud
us,
of that.
rest in peace. But you know, that's a guy that, you know, someday I will meet him and I will shake his hand.
Love that. I love to hear that. All right. Thank you for being with me here.
Thank you for bringing me here.
Your spark, you know, you're gonna spark many kids like mentality, and also I hope like many other athletes and people that they have, you know, they have dreams, goals,
Yeah.
and athletes that they have inspirational stories, you know, they come here and they share as well. And good luck in everything in your career, your goals, your long-term goals, and goals
Thank you.
right now. Yeah, this was really great, and I'm proud of you so much. And of course,
But one thing before we go, I will say this: you have to take that first step. I'm so serious right now. You have to take that first step, because a lot of you guys, there's 100% of people out there. There's the 90% who don't have any of this,
Right.
and then there's the 10% who have these ideas and dreams, and then there's 5% of them, half of them don't ever, you know, do it. And then there's the 5% who take that step, and those are the people who get things done, and those are the people who turns their dreams into reality.
Right.
You have to manifest that in a positive way, but the only way of doing that is taking those first steps. So that's what I wanted to say. And
All right, Mike. Thank you for being here, and I'm very proud of you again. And I wish you all the best and all the future endeavor. This story was very, very inspiring for others, not just for me, but for everyone who watched the video. And good luck.
thank you. Pleasure as always.
All right.